Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy was good-looking, and he knew it. He was a law student at the University of Washington. He volunteered at a suicide prevention hotline. Women trusted him, and between 1974 and 1978, he kidnapped and killed at least 30 of them across 7 states. His method was almost always the same. He would put his arm in a fake sling or put a fake cast on his leg and ask a young woman to help him carry something to his car. Once she got close enough, he would hit her in the head and drag her inside. Then he drove to some remote location, and that was it. Bundy killed his first confirmed victim in January 1974 in Washington state. Her name was Linda Ann Healy, and she was a 21-year-old college student. After that, the disappearances kept happening. Young women with long dark hair parted in the middle started vanishing from campuses in Washington and Oregon, sometimes 2 in the same month. Police across multiple states were investigating disappearances, but nobody connected them to the same person. Bundy was careful. He moved around. He changed his appearance, and he picked victims who looked alike, which meant police kept treating each case as separate. In August 1975, a highway patrol officer in Utah pulled Bundy over for a traffic stop and found handcuffs and a ski mask and rope in his car. He was arrested and convicted of kidnapping, but while awaiting trial for murder in Colorado, Bundy escaped from the courthouse by jumping out of a second-story window during a recess. Police caught him 8 days later, and then he escaped again. This time he sawed a hole in the ceiling of his jail cell and crawled through the crawl space and walked right out the front door while the guards were not paying attention. He made it all the way to Florida. In Tallahassee, on January 15, 1978, Bundy broke into the Chi Omega sorority house at Florida State University. In the middle of the night, he attacked 4 women in their beds. 2 of them died. Then a few weeks later, he kidnapped and killed a 12-year-old girl named Kimberly Leach from her school in Lake City. Police pulled him over on February 15th driving a stolen car. This time he didn't get away. His trial in Miami was the first murder trial in American history to be broadcast on live television. Bundy refused a plea deal and insisted on acting as his own lawyer. He cross-examined witnesses and flirted with the judge and even proposed to a woman on the witness stand during the trial. He got 3 death sentences. On January 24, 1989, Bundy was executed by electric chair at Florida State Prison. He was 42 years old. Zodiac Killer. Between December 1968 and October 1969, somebody shot and stabbed 7 people in and around San Francisco. 5 of them died, 2 survived, and then the killer started writing letters to the newspapers. The first attack happened on December 20, 1968, on a quiet road called Lake Herman Road, outside Benicia, California. 2 high school students named David Faraday and Betty Lou Jensen were parked in a car at a lover's lane. Someone pulled up next to them and shot them both. Police had no witnesses and no motive and no usable evidence. 7 months later, on July 4, 1969, the killer attacked again. Darlene Ferrin and Michael Mageau were sitting in a car at Blue Rock Springs Park in Vallejo, just 2 miles from the first shooting. A man pulled up and shined a flashlight into their car and started firing a 9mm pistol without saying a word. Ferrin died. Mageau survived with gunshot wounds. Then 40 minutes later, someone called the Vallejo police from a payphone and said he wanted to report a double murder. He also told them he killed those kids last year. On July 31st, 3 nearly identical letters arrived at 3 different Bay Area newspapers. Each letter contained 1/3 of a coded message made up of symbols and letters. The writer demanded the papers print the codes on the front page or he would go on a killing spree. He didn't sign his name. He signed with a crosshair symbol like the scope of a gun. A married couple cracked the first code in about a week. The message said he liked killing people because it was so much fun and that his victims would become his slaves in the afterlife. But the cipher did not contain his name. On September 27th, he showed up at Lake Berryessa in Napa County, wearing a black hood with the crosshair symbol sewn onto the chest. He tied up 2 college students, Brian Hartnell and Cecilia Shepard, and stabbed them both. Hartnell survived. Shepard died 2 days later. The killer wrote the dates and locations of his attacks on the door of Hartnell's car with a felt tip marker before he left. On October 11th, a cab driver named Paul Stein picked up a passenger in downtown San Francisco. The passenger shot him in the head and tore off a piece of his shirt. Days later, the San Francisco Chronicle received a letter with that piece of shirt enclosed. The letter said he was the murderer of the taxi driver. Over the next 5 years, the Zodiac sent more than 20 letters to newspapers and police. He claimed to have killed 37 people. He sent 3 more coded messages and only one of those was ever solved, and that didn't happen until 2020, 51 years after it was written, and it still didn't contain his name. The only suspect police ever named publicly was Arthur Lee Allen, a former schoolteacher and convicted sex offender from Vallejo, but they could never get the physical evidence to match. Allen died of a heart attack in 1992 at age 58. The case is still open. The Zodiac was never identified.